Okay, what's up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you are enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you do go and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. If you haven't checked out the Discord channel to Elevating Traders, make sure you go do that. Completely free to join. Link to that in the description below. And also at the top of the chat, you can join discussions, chat with myself, other traders as well, join a growing community. And if you are looking to get a Elevating Traders trading challenge, you can purchase that there with a discount code as well. So if you're interested, make sure you go check it out. As I said, link in the description and also at the top of the chat. But guys, welcome back to another stream. What's up? Hi, Elf. Hope you're well. We'll take a look at Euro Aussie. I'll just go through some USD markets first. Then I will get to Euro Aussie. What's up, Regina? Good morning. Hope you're well. Good morning, Will. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing good. So, in terms of USD, we had a bit of news yesterday, and price was looking pretty bearish for USD. And of course, the corresponding USD markets were pushing up. Euro USD, Pound USD, all seeing some upside. Of course, this is the DXY here. We did see some downside, and we just about broke through some structure. So it looks to me that DXY is not holding 107 very well, and that we could be seeing a move to the downside here. I'm looking at the weekly chart. Today's Thursday. Still got the rest of today and Friday, but we might not see too much movement because of Thanksgiving, especially in terms of USD anyway. So it's going to be an interesting one to see how we close for the week. So far, we're looking pretty bearish. And to me, this looks like prices just come back into the high, bit of a wick to the upside, and has rejected it pretty well. So in my book, there's a good chance that next week's going to be bearish too, or at least see some movement to the downside. Whether we close bearish or not, that'll be a different question. But we probably will see some downside next week if we can close out this week's price action like that. Like I said, we still got the rest of today and Friday, so things could look a little bit different. But so far, we are seeing some nice momentum. And of course, dropping down to the 4-hour chart, we've got that break of structure. So now I'm looking for a lower high here for basically that head and shoulder pattern we were mentioning yesterday. So, of course, you got the left shoulder over there, you got the head over there, and now possibly the right shoulder for a retest, coming back into that resistance. And from here, maybe you could look for some opportunities on Euro USD or some other USD pairs and take USD to the downside. In terms of targets, I have spoke about a retest of the high here, 105,300, and also the retest of this area here. If we look a little bit more bearish, there's a possibility to have that big move down. But the key thing for me is that USD is still very stretched, very overextended, expecting a bigger pullback at some point. And the fact is, we're rejecting that big weekly level there at 107.2. So in my book, that's a recipe for downside. Now, of course, we've got the break of structure as well. We broke to the downside with some nice momentum too. So it's ticking a lot of boxes, let's say, with USD for some shorts, looking for a pullback and some downside. The only thing is that, as I said, we might be a bit dry Thanksgiving, so we might not see the momentum needed for a pullback this week. It might come early next week, but I am looking at a lower high at some point and a push to the downside. So looking at that in terms of Euro USD, looking at the opposite, this one hasn't broken through structure yet, so the opportunity is not as good. It would be nice if Euro USD did what DXY did in terms of breaking the high here and then looking for a pullback afterwards, because then we will get that inverse head and shoulder pattern. So you got the left, you got the head, and possibly a right shoulder forming. So if you can go break that structure, that would be nice. Pullback, higher low, continuation. Unfortunately, we haven't got that break of structure, so I'll still be waiting for that to happen. You can be looking to take some buys on Euro as we approach some of these areas. It's a bit more of an aggressive trade. Reason being, the market structure is still bearish. We're still pretty consistent with the lower highs, lower high over there, lower high over here, lower high over there, and this could be another one as well. So even though we've got the breaking structure in DXY, it would be nice to get that in the Euro as well. Because at the end of the day, if you're trading Euro USD, you want the price action to be looking good there. Yeah, and the DXY as well, not just the DXY itself. So I think this would be a nice opportunity, but it would be even better if we can break structure first and then look for some pullbacks afterwards. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for Euro. And of course, if I quickly jump to the weekly time frame, you can see we're still trading a massive level of weekly support, which price is still holding on to. So naturally expecting upside there. Again, DXY is pretty much doing the same in the opposite direction. Just the price action is looking a little bit better over there. In terms of pound USD, expecting upside as well with this one. Again, all the USD pairs, I'm basically looking for retracement now. But with pound USD, I'm more interested in the shorts actually, rather than the longs. This one as well, some nice upside momentum yesterday. Didn't really do anything in terms of breaking structure. We pushed back into an area where price can form a lower high and possibly have another sell-off as well. So again, not quite doing it for the buys for myself, but I do still like this area up here, breaking retest of that low, solid support. Now will be turn resistance around 1.284. If price was to get up there, that would be a really nice place to short. A lot of momentum, expecting a pullback, and I still think we can go and test some deeper prices as this area here on the daily chart. As I've said, we've broken structure on numerous occasions, so pound USD has made this bearish move with a lot of intent. So I do think we can keep pushing. It's just about timing that pullback well. So looking for around 1.285 for some shorts. Of course, we're quite a long way away from that, so I'm not too focused on pound USD at the moment, but as things develop, might see some nice shorts maybe next week. But still very much my area of interest. Aussie dollar, I still do like this one. The buy is from 0.64. Not quite there yet. Still very sideways. Pretty much consolidation since we started for the week here. If price can break to the downside one more time, I will be looking for some buys to try and take Aussie dollar to the upside. So a retest of the low here. I do like the opportunity for a bounce at this level. Again, pretty much the same analysis as what we're seeing with the other USD markets. We've been falling for a while. Market's very stretched, hitting some bigger levels on the higher time frames, daily, weekly charts, expecting a bounce. And that's essentially what I'm looking to trade here with Aussie dollar. So if you can fall to the downside one more time, nice sharp move, that would be very nice. Flush out some traders, and then we can see a bit of a push maybe again next week. Whether we get that one more drop to the downside, who knows? Maybe we do, maybe we don't. But if we do, that's when I'll be looking for opportunities, because right now price is kind of middle of nowhere. I know we're kind of reacting with some lows here, but this is the main area I'm looking at, 0.64638. So unless we get back down there, I don't really see opportunity in my eyes. So yeah, looking for another push to the downside for Aussie dollar, then looking for the buy. New Zealand dollar, we've already had a bit of a bounce for this one as well. We came back into some big lows on the left over here, 0.58, as we can see. So price came back into this area, nice little bounce to the upside. Looking fairly bullish, but again, haven't really broken through structure yet. Bit of a theme across the market. It looks like DXY is the only one which has actually broken structure to the downside. Again, with ends the USD, we're approaching some areas where again we could form a lower high. Market's been pretty consistent with them, and we could be forming another lower high in this area. So until we start to get some break of structure, it's a bit difficult to be looking to buy ends the USD unless we come back for a double bottom down here. That could be a nice trade. But really, some break of structures would be nice, and then we can look for the higher lows afterwards. Because again, the idea is still USD markets are still oversold. We've seen a bit of upside recently, but it's not enough for the big drop we've had over the past few weeks. So still do expect the more upside for USD markets. Ends the USD, I'll keep an eye on the double bottom here. Otherwise, we're back in bearish territory. Not really looking to take any buys in that area. Dollar CAD, this one looks like it's retracing. It has come back to a nice area for some buys. Again, you can see the overall the market structure is overall still pretty bullish. Again, I do expect USD to have that bigger retracement and dollar CAD to have that big retracement as well. But like we saw with the other USD markets, we're coming back to areas where we might see a bit of a push back up again. You can see prior resistance on a couple occasions last week. This could act as a really nice level of support. I would wait for some more indication that the market's about to bounce there. If maybe we could have a strong push down and then a nice bullish engulfing afterwards, that could be a nice entry candle there. But in terms of area we're trading, this is a nice place for buys. The sells already had their fun on the way to the downside. Unless we keep going and break structure, that's a different scenario altogether. If we do break structure, I'll be looking for a pretty big drop there for dollar CAD. At the moment, still pretty consistent with the higher lows, as we can see previously. So looking for another bounce to the upside. And as I said yesterday, a push back to this area looks good. Maybe if we're lucky, we might see a push back to the high. But I think buys in here look good. I'll just wait for some development. Might not see the entry this week, like I said, because of Thanksgiving. In terms of gold and silver, so gold and silver, I'm not really a big fan of, to be honest. I am pretty bullish still with gold. I like the bounce off that low there on the left, but just not really doing it for me with gold. As I said, coming into the week, this was the area I was looking to buy from. At the moment in time, we're actually using that as resistance. So that's definitely not the plan I had coming into the week, but we did break that structure on the left, which is why I shifted my bias from bearish back to bullish. And I do still expect us to have that continuation to the upside at some point. Yeah, it might be a bit slow. Maybe we have that double bottom and then we have the continuation. So that could be a nice opportunity, a nice place for a stop loss as well. But other than that, I'm not a big fan of the price action with gold. So I'm not really looking to trade it, but I still do have that bullish bias. And same with silver as well. I still do have a bullish bias with silver. It's just the price action isn't fantastic as well. I know it's coming back into that same area where I bought from last week, but not looking as good anymore. So I did say yesterday, if price can start to create some bullish structure, that could tempt me again to look for some longs. But if we can break through the high, that would very much tempt me to look for some longs. Break above that, I'm expecting us to come right back into the high there at 34.84 and probably see a lot, see price go a lot further as well, because I do expect a lot more upside with silver. Break above 32.5 is a big indication that silver is probably going to keep pushing. So that's really the opportunity I'm after, which again is a long, long way away. And yeah, I'm not really focused on the USD pairs this week. As I said, yen is my main focus. I do like Aussie dollar though, if it does break a little bit lower to 0.64. That I'll keep an eye out for. And maybe if we see some break of structures as well. But Aussie dollar, a buy from 0.64 would tempt me. Depends how we get there. Depends how we react, of course. I'm not going to just buy straight away. But if things look good, ticks my boxes, I will look for entries. And that at the moment is probably the only USD pair which I'm interested in. Things can change next week. But at the moment, that's the only USD pair which I could see myself taking a trade on. But what's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's well. Chris, good morning. Hope you're doing good. Good to see you as well. Welcome to the stream. Follow the trend. What is up? Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing good. Just entered gold sell 50-minute. Okay, we'll go take a look at that. Okay, take profit to 26.42. Okay, we'll have a look. I wish you luck. Yeah, we might not see much movement today, so it's going to be difficult to take intraday trades. I know gold sometimes just moves anyway, to be honest, even during holidays. But yeah, we might not see that much movement today, so it might be a bit difficult to get the trade going. But we'll see. We'll see. I think as long as you're taking the trade fits your plan well, you can't be too you're not gonna be upset with yourself with that, as long as it fits your plan well. You've done your job. But it's just because today is Thanksgiving, might not see much movement with USD, but we'll see. Good morning, Ahmed. Welcome to the stream. Commission Analysis, appreciate it. Hope you're well. Jay Fenno, what's up? Hope you're doing good. Welcome to the stream. Ahmed, yes, we will go through yen pairs. Do not worry. Again, that's where my main focus is really. So hopefully I can get some opportunities next week to get back into some more CAD yen shorts. In terms of gold, we'll have a quick look at that position. You said you've gone short on the 15-minute time frame. Let's drop right down to the 15. Let me move this out the way to clear the chart up. Okay, so I suppose you got short from here roughly, coming back to some of these areas. So it's definitely a nice place for a short. If we are going to form a lower high, that's kind of the areas I expect us to drift into. Okay, we've had a healthy pullback, just breaking past the 0.618 there as well. And I do like the price action there with the wicks as well. Looks like price is pretty tired. Drop to the 5-minute. Yeah, some nice wicks there as well. So yeah, I do expect us to have a bit of a move down naturally after taking the highs down the left too. How far we move, that's going to be the question. You know, whether it is a swing to the low. I mean, what's your take profit? 26.42. 26.42. Okay, not looking for anything crazy. 26.42 is only there. And yes, I suppose your stop loss is above the high. 26.48.5. Okay, stop loss is just above the high, more or less. Okay, so yeah, I mean it's pretty reasonable. You don't stop to the market chart. Yeah, that's what I meant. Criteria is met, so you can't be too discretionary. But yeah, I think it looks good. You're not asking for too much. I was thinking that potentially you might have like a target, the swing low there as well, which again is not a bad idea as well. You know, you very much could see that move too. It's just given the circumstance, you just run the risk of maybe price chopping around, and Friday we make the move. So you need to be careful of that. But if your target is 26.42, we don't need necessarily that much momentum to actually see that move happen. So I think it looks pretty realistic, not asking too much from the market given the situation as well we're in. So I like it, and trading from a nice area as well. Nice little sculpt there in the 15. So hopefully we can go and hit that target. But yeah, I think yeah, in terms of day trading, it might be a bit more difficult today. Swing trading is not that bad. If you do get set up in swing trading, you're going to be sitting the trade maybe for the day, but you expect to do that anyway, really, with your trades. So, swing trading is just another day in the markets, really. But if you're on the lower time frames, I would suggest maybe not having too far targets today. If you're looking to open and close your trades within the day, maybe not looking for your usual bigger targets. If you do that, might be the smarter guess, smarter bet. What's up, Anthony? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Actually sold Bitcoin. Oh, okay. Sold Bitcoin fair 95,702. Okay, 93,265. Okay, I'll go take a look at BTC there. Noradine short gold as well. Okay, got a few people on the short side of gold. 2709, 2709. Oh, you've been short for a while then. 2709 is right the high over there. Take profit 2552. Okay, looking for a really big move. 2552 is around here. So you're looking for, that's a pretty big move there on gold. That's about a 1,600 pip move. Not bad at all. Yeah, I mean, so far it's going pretty well. So far it's going pretty well. I assume maybe you've gone break even, remove some risk off the table. I guess you're kind of just going to see how price gets on. I mean, like I said, I do have a bullish bias on gold. I'm looking for upside, but if price does break through 2,600, we probably will go and hit that 2550 area, to be honest. So I think that's probably your main area of focus. If we can shatter that level there, 2,600, big psychological level as well, you're probably in the money. If not, this might turn price against you, but I would imagine you probably remove some risk now if you've shorted all the way up there. Seen some really lovely momentum to the downside, which I wasn't expecting this week, to be honest. I wasn't expecting gold to have such an aggressive sell-off. So that did take me by surprise. No problem for the trend. Happy to help. Yeah, volume-wise, when we in and out with the US bank holiday. Yeah, it does. It does normally do a good job in New York. Sometimes it actually moves pretty well during the Asian session as well for gold. I've noticed that as well. But New York, it does pack a punch. And of course, USD is the biggest exchange. So USD rules all, to be honest. But yeah, because today is the bank holiday, so it might be a bit dry. But you're not looking for too much, and we could probably hit that even before New York opens up potentially. So that would be nice. But okay, I'll go through BTC there for Philip, and then we'll take a look at some of the other markets. So Bitcoin, you've gone short. From 2709, 2709, I'm reading the wrong one. From 9502, 9502. Okay, it's not far off. Oh, 702, 95,702. 95,702. Okay, it's more or less in that area. I can't get the exact price, but more or less in that area, targeting 93,265. Okay, not looking for much either. 93,265 in this area, roughly there. Yeah, I think it looks pretty reasonable to be fair. Price had some nice momentum, but that's kind of dropped a little bit. There's a brief pause there in the market as well before we had um, that big burst to the upside yesterday. Price stalled here for a few hours, and we had that really big push to the upside. So naturally, this could be an area where buyers step back into the market, where the market could be drawn to before seeing some more upside. So in terms of the targets, I like the targets. And in terms of the entry, it's in a reasonable place as well. I'm still pretty bullish on Bitcoin, so I do think high prices are still likely. I still think we're going to go and hit 100K. We got so close to it last time. I do think price is just going to eventually go and hit that 100K pretty soon. But again, we don't necessarily have to hit it straight away. Price can go through another bearish cycle potentially before go and hit that 100K. But overall, I would be pretty bullish on Bitcoin. So if you are looking to sell Bitcoin, I just wouldn't be looking for anything crazy. And looking at your targets there looks pretty reasonable. That's probably the first area where buyers would be looking to get back in, at least on these timeframes anyway. So I think it makes sense in terms of the move you're looking for. And already seeing some nice momentum. There's a nice close on that last hourly candle there. So potentially price could sell off from that and see that continuation back into these areas. And hope you can hit that, take profit. So yeah, not looking for anything crazy. Again, when you are going counter trend against momentum, the key thing is that you're not being too optimistic with your targets because momentum isn't in your favor in the first place. So you don't want to be looking for such a crazy move. Chances are you might catch a nice reaction, but price is probably going to come back to your entry price at some point, more often than not. So not looking for anything crazy is always the better guess. And if you want to look for the bigger trades, that's fine, but you want to have measurements in place, trading stops, partials, whatever. But yeah, that's a reasonable target. But as I said, I'm still very bullish Bitcoin, so I do think eventually we're going to push the upside. It was nice momentum yesterday. We did have that retest of the range, which I was talking about coming into the week. Nice retest there, nice reaction. So I do expect us to keep pushing, but maybe we have another retest before we do go and hit that 100K. But yeah, overall, Bitcoin still looks pretty bullish to me. What's up, CS Integrated? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. What's up, Tony Gold? Hope you're doing good. Welcome, welcome. What's up, Holy One? Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone is well. We'll go through some of the yen pairs. So yeah, my main focus is still with the yen pairs, really. I mean, those are the pairs that look the clearest to me in terms of opportunity. I'm still short CAD yen. I'm looking for some entries. Looks like we're seeing a bit of retracement for CAD yen. I've got my stop loss trailed to here, 109,702. So the plan is to look to see if I can get another entry on the retest of this level here, just above 109. And then, yeah, find another position, because if the yen pairs are going to do what I'm expecting them to do, then we possibly could be seeing a swing back to the low. The idea is that we had this massive impulse in July, and now we're getting the correction of that and possibly the continuation. And then, of course, naturally expect price to come right back to the low. So overall, for me, CAD yen still looking really bearish. Still do think we can get another big drop to the downside. So I'm only looking for shorts. It was a really nice push to the downside the past couple of days here. We're starting to pull back down the weekly candle. If we can close similar to how we're looking now, that'd be a very nice weekly candle, because we've shifted momentum. Prices held onto resistance here with all those wicks. And now this week's candle's seen the drop, seen the momentum shift, and given us that bearish engulfing candle. So next week's candle might give us a bit of a wick to the upside first, and then the continuation as well. So hopefully that'll be my re-entry or my second entry. Well, it could be trailed out, so it might be a re-entry into CAD yen, but I still do see more downside here. It would be nice if you could fill the wick a little bit before we do close to really confirm momentum with the bears. But hey, beggars can't be choosers. So yeah, with CAD looks really good for some sells. Hopefully you can get a push back into that level, not too far away. Seeing some bullish momentum now, so that might carry us back into that area. And then I can speak about some shorts and finding some opportunities there. But overall, the yen pairs look really bearish to me. And of course, you've got your lovely Aussie yen, New Zealand yen, which have finally broken out of their respective ranges. So these look very interesting. I must say, really confident breakout to the downside. Two really big bearish candles on the daily chart there. So as you can see, we had that range. Price was consolidating for a few weeks. Then finally, we had Tuesday's candle give us the breakout, and then Wednesday's candle just really continue that momentum. And that's really what I want to be seeing with my breakouts. I want price to give me the breakout with one candle, then confirm that momentum with the next. And that really is a nice sign that the momentum is here to stay and it's not potentially a fake out. You can see here, we did get one candle close above, and the second one was, okay. It looked, very kind of tired, wicks up and down, not really convincing close. And then market came straight back down. This is a much more confident breakout. And if we were to see a retest of this level now, I'm expecting it to hold. Of course, nothing's 100%. We could potentially break back in the range. But, I know the probabilities are a lot more in my favor. So something like this to me looks like a nice opportunity in Aussie yen. I may even look to take this one because I actually really like Aussie yen. So I may even look to take this setup rather than CAD yen. It depends how it pulls back. It depends on the entry. But again, my thinking is the yen pairs, they do the same thing anyway. So it doesn't really matter too much if I'm short Aussie yen or I have a CAD yen short. The idea behind the trade is the yen's going to be strong. That's really what I'm looking at. But in terms of the opportunity, I really like it. So we're seeing some nice upside now. Hopefully that can continue for the next few days, take us back to the high. Probably won't see any entries this week. I think we'll probably, slowly push up, maybe consolidate a little bit. I think maybe early next week might see some entries to get short on some of these break-in retests. New Zealand yen, similar situation as well. Nice break to the downside. I was a bit worried about New Zealand yen yesterday because we had, well, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, because we had that big wick. We had that big wick on this candle here, but luckily it filled and closed pretty strongly bearish. Second candle closed okay. It was a nice wick to the upside, closed as a shooting star, so I like that. But the the Aussie yen breakout was a lot more confident. So although they're probably going to do the same thing, which is probably breaking retest and continue down, Aussie yen looks a lot cleaner. So I'll probably just focus on that pair if I don't get the setup I want on CAD yen. But yeah, I'm expecting a lot more downside now. Really nice break to the downside here and looking for a push back into this low. And if all goes well, probably taking out the wick lows here too. So there's a lot of downside I'm expecting with these yen pairs, a lot of downside. If I quickly touch on the yen basket, I'm pretty sure that closed nicely to the upside as well. So yeah, a lot of upside momentum there. It's left behind some nice structure there for a retest. Prior resistance here, turn support, pull back into that area. Could see a lot more upside from there. And has the Japanese index broken support yet? Or is it still kind of dancing? Still kind of dancing at support there. I think if we can break that support level on the Japanese index, that's when the yen pairs will really drop. Yeah, 37,750. We've been testing this area numerous occasions. Was looking pretty bearish, but had another bounce at that level. So yeah, if we can break through that, I think that's when the floodgates will really open for the yen pairs. But yeah, still kind of moving sideways on the index. But overall, looking for yen strength. We've kind of seen that already. Looks like we're getting a bit of a pullback now. So hopefully can find some more opportunities to ride that momentum further down. Okay, we'll go through. I was supposed to go through Euro Aussie, wasn't I? Completely forgot about Euro Aussie. I'll go take a look at that one. And yeah, I'll go through pound CAD and pound yen as well. Still waiting for the entry on dollar yen. Still on euro yen. Okay. Okay, yeah, because I remember you said You got shorts back to like 150 something, 155 for euro yen, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 156, I think you said. So yeah, I think euro yen still looks good. Still a lot more downside in the cards. I think dollar yen looks good now. Really strong break to the downside yesterday too, or the day before. So yeah, if price can keep up, I do think dollar yen's likely to keep falling as well. Basically, all the yen pairs, very bearish in all of them. Some look better than others, but I expect them to keep falling. Okay, so we'll go through pound CAD. I'll go through Euro Aussie quickly because that was literally the first comment of the stream and completely forgot. So yeah, Euro Aussie, not the biggest fan of this one, to be fair. We had a nice rejection off that low. Price came into some nice areas of support, 1.60400, really nice respect of that level a few days ago. I'm pretty bearish on this one. I do think eventually we're going to break through this and start to trend a lot lower. So that's really what I'm expecting with Euro Aussie over the next probably few weeks, actually. But the idea is, since we are still pretty consistent with these lower highs, I am looking for that to continue. So as we approach some structure over here on the left, I'm expecting us to hold that and possibly form the next lower high in the next drop to the downside. So this is kind of what I'm looking at for Euro Aussie in terms of a decent location to short it, because this is all bullish territory coming from this massive level of support. These are where the buyers are sitting, sellers are exiting their trades, taking their profit. So as a seller, not interested to get into the market. These prices, especially if you're a swing trader, you want to wait for price to move higher up, get a better price to short the market. And 1.635 would be that area. Of course, if we're to push to this high as well, I think that's a nice area to short too. But for now, I would be looking at 1.635, 3539. I think that makes the most sense at this moment in time. So if we can get there, see some nice rejections, candlestick wicks, and bearish engulfing candles, could be looking for some entries in that area for a swing back down. Then maybe we go and break through and get that bigger breakout. But for now, still pretty bearish in Euro Aussie. Still looking for the lower highs there to continue, and hopefully that can floor. It can break in the next few weeks as well, because when that breaks, I think we'll see some really nice trends with this one, because it's just been consolidating for the whole year pretty much. In terms of pound CAD, I did speak about some shorts with this one the past couple of days, looking for price to basically hold this level as support, turn resistance, and looking for excuse me, a push back down into 1.75. I also mentioned some of the areas up here, because originally I was looking for the retest of this low, but it never happened. So I wouldn't be too surprised if price was to slowly make a way up, test that area, and then go for the sell. The idea with pound CAD is that we're looking for the lower high, because we had some equal highs over here. So you can see a really healthy trend, higher highs, higher lows. Market double topped over there, really strong break to the downside. So we're basically looking for the lower high, the first lower high after this big breakout. If I do draw the Fibonacci from the high to the low, you can see we've got the 50 over there, 0.618 in this area. So that would be a nice area to short from. You got some more confluences up there. The market's a bit more stretched, so we're likely to see the push down. And of course, on the daily chart, we have broken through that ascending trend line there. So that's completely invalidated that trend line. So I do think now a lower high is set to form. It's just in terms of where we're going to form, I would want price to push a little bit higher up. So 1.785, 1.79 would be my area of interest, and where I'm expecting price to put that lower high in, and possibly the swing back to the low. And we still do have that gap there to the downside as well, which I do think price can go and fill. But overall, pretty bearish on pound CADs. It's respecting this level well. So you can look for a first attempt at this level. It stops above the high. If that fails, you can always look for the second attempt there. And the beauty of it as well, if the market does see the move we're looking for, the risk reward will be positive. If you do stop out in the first trade, you take the loss, and then you will make back that with the second trade, probably 2 or 3 times over. So yeah, that is what I'm looking at pound CAD. In terms of pound yen, another lovely yen pair. I do have a short bias with this one as well. The idea is looking for the next lower high in this bearish sequence. So as you can see, if I mark out the lower highs, 1, 2, 3, 4, lovely drop there to the downside. If I whip out the Fibonacci from the high to the low, I do like this area here for a retest of support. If you can come back into that area, retest, lower high, looking for the next drop. Yeah, and I would be expecting more downside. I mean, possibly a push back to the low here. That could be where pound yen is headed towards. There are targets to keep an eye out for before that. This is definitely an area to look at. 190, pretty big psychological level there as well. But I would expect us to see a lot more downside and looking pretty much at solely yen strength. So pound yen, you name it, yen. I'm looking for more downside across the board until proven otherwise. Of course, I'm not going to be stubborn and only look to short the yen pairs. If price does start to break structure, I will rethink things. But for now, for pound yen, really impressive bearish leg to the downside the past couple of days, consistent with the lower highs. So looking for the next one. And I do like this area of confluence, and then hopefully another drop to the downside. So that really is the plan with pound yen there as well. I'll go through the rest of the yen pairs, dollar yen, CHF, JPY. We'll go through euro yen as well. What's up, Lockdown? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Want to short gold, but want to see a high pullback. Yeah, quite a few people shorting gold today. 2670-ish. Okay, I'll have a quick look at that, and I'll go through the rest of the yen pairs. Good morning, Rob. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Thoughts on Ethereum. Is well positioned in swing. Okay, I'll go take a look. Which direction are you looking to swing? Swing to the downside or looking for a buy? Ahmed, pound USD holding buy since yesterday. Okay, I'll go through gold, Ethereum, and pound USD, and then I'll go through the rest of the yen pairs. Yes, Ahmed, I've seen your message, my man. You only need to do it once. Please try not to spam the chat. Okay, we'll take a look at that gold setup you're looking at. Yeah, quite a lot of people looking to sell gold. I mean, a couple of you already shorting gold. Yeah, so gold is tricky. It's just a little bit dry these days. Well, not these days. This day in particular, it hasn't been dry these days. It's been moving quite a lot, to be honest. But yeah, it's not going to probably do too much. So if you're looking to day trade gold, my biggest advice is not look for anything crazy in terms of your targets. Chances are we're not going to see a big move today. Most likely not, especially when it comes to the New York session. So gold is moving a little bit. Of course, London's still alive and well, still kicking. So we are seeing that London session. But when it comes to New York, it might start to peter out a little bit, especially as the day continues. But yeah, with gold, things are looking a little bit bullish, but we're coming to some areas where, again, we could form a lower high. You're looking to short around 2670. So you're looking for a lot more upside back into this area, I suppose, before you're looking for a push down. I like that area as well because a lot of momentum came from that. Price stopped there for a few hours, nice push to the upside and a really big drop there as well. So naturally, that's a nice place to short from too. Yeah, probably might be not until next week we get that 2670 area. Because yeah, we're probably not going to get there to this week unless maybe Friday has a big bang. I think there might be some news on Friday, but nothing crazy. But yeah, I think that's a nice area to short as well. That's where momentum came from. If price is having a correction of that, then that naturally will be a nice place to short too. Whether price will have that full swing back to the low and break through is a different question. But in terms of a smart place for an entry, that is a nice place for it as well. A healthy pullback too, probably getting to at least 0.618 has already been hit, probably more or less around 0.786. So healthy place for a short, healthy place for a pullback as well. Like I said, it might not be till next week we get there, so might be sitting on your hands with that one, but nothing wrong with that. If you've got a good opportunity you're looking for, you want to wait for it. That's the aim of the game. But a nice place to short if you are looking for downside. In terms of Ethereum, then I will take a look at pound USD as well. So Ethereum, you're looking for a swing. Yeah, let me know which swing you're looking for. Okay, bullish bias, although expect pullback, anticipating altcoin run. Okay. Wow. I did not see that. Yeah, I didn't see that yesterday. I mean, I wasn't keeping up to date with Ethereum, but the last time I looked at Ethereum was on stream yesterday, which was, I think, this candle here. So yeah, that was a pretty strong move to the upside. Ethereum. I didn't check Ethereum. Yeah, Ethereum's in an interesting area. I don't think it's the best place for a buy. Is it breaking out the consolidation? Okay, maybe it is. Maybe it is. If you're looking for a breakout buy, that could be it, to be fair, because last time on stream, we were kind of still trading that area, so it was 50-50. But that's a pretty strong close, I must admit, there for Ethereum. Yeah, I think this is actually a nice time for a buy, because if you are breaking out and staying above this range, it's essentially what Bitcoin did not too long ago. We had that descending channel for Bitcoin. We got the breakout above it. Bitcoin came for the retest, and then we continued to the upside. We'll quickly have a look, see at Bitcoin. We pretty much did that to a T with this channel. Let's make sure we can see it. So there we go. So we did the channel there, retest the channel, and then price flew to the moon. That looks like what Ethereum is trying to do as well. Nice break of the channel high. This will be a solid place for a retest, because essentially you don't want to see Ethereum come back inside the range, because again, with momentum, such a key component with crypto, we want that momentum to sustain. So if price was to break back inside the range, that would just be exit the trade, get out of the way of that. Price might be having a big fake out for a big sell, potentially. If we are going to sustain momentum and price is going to hold above these areas, then great. You want to keep your stop loss underneath that and try and stay in the trade for as long as possible. So yeah, if you're looking for a swing trade on Ethereum, I think because of this breakout now, it has confirmed that momentum is with the buyers, and of course breaking out of that high as well is a very significant breakout too. So as long as we stay above 3,400, I would say don't close back inside the channel. You can be looking at taking Ethereum back to the highs here, 39.32, 4,100, and of course maybe the all-time highs there as well. So yeah, I think Ethereum's looking really good. I think Ethereum looks really good, I must admit. And the stop out makes a lot of sense as well. If we climb back inside the range, you're out the trade. Simple as that. Okay, I'll go through pound USD, and then we'll go through the rest of the yen pairs. What's up, Antonio? Welcome to the stream. Just saying hello, busy day. Okay, no worries, my man. Have a good one. Hopefully we'll catch you tomorrow. Okay, dollar seat chef. We'll take a look. Okay, so pound USD. So you said you're in some buys from yesterday, and you're holding some buys. Okay. The last take profit for pound USD. It's a difficult one to say because we've come into a nice area where securing some gains makes a lot of sense. We're back into the lower high here. This is what gave us a really strong move to the downside. We're back at that area again. We're in the business of an area where price might form another lower high as well. So securing some gains there makes a lot of sense. At the same time as well, there is upside potential because I'm looking to short up here. So of course, I would want price to break through that and continue going, because this is where I want to sell from. But I would suggest locking in some gains at these prices here if you haven't done already, and you want to keep, you want to push the trade some further, push the trade further. I would definitely suggest locking in some gains, or at least trading a stop loss to your break even, so you can remove risk off the table. I'm not too sure where you've entered, but I suggest you probably got in before the momentum here, I'm assuming. But I would say locking in some gains here around 1.26800 makes a lot of sense. If you are looking for a bigger target, I do think price can get back here eventually. That might take another week's worth of price action for that to happen. So you probably want to lock in some gains in the meantime, maybe try to stop loss to break even, and then you can leave that position to run to see if we do that. but I think now's a good time to lock in some gains. Not everything, but just maybe 50%, and then you can let the other half run. But that, of course, is up to you. But yeah, nice momentum. I like it on the daily chart. Market's still very stretched to the downside. We've had such a big drop there for pound. So I do think the bigger move for pound USD is to the upside, but we are just testing some areas where sellers will be sitting. So need to be careful of that. And quickly, I'll go through dollar CHF, and then we'll go through the rest of the yen pairs. So dollar CHF as well. Big move to the downside. Hasn't broken through structure yet. I think that's the key thing I'm looking for with a lot of these yen pairs. Pairs, a lot of the USD pairs is a break of structure. If price can break the low, that'd be fantastic, because that'll tell me, okay, the bullish structure is now over. Bears are stepping in. I'll be looking for a lower high, and then a continuation to the downside. I'm not the biggest fan of dollar CHF, to be honest. It's not really trading at any area which I would get too excited about. I understand that we're coming into this kind of weekly area of supply. We stopped here for a couple of weeks, few weeks before we had a pretty big drop to the downside. So might see a reaction from that. In fact, we are seeing a reaction from that. And of course, if USD is going to sell from 107,200, then you're probably going to see dollar CHF make a move down as well. But really, because price is ranging, you've got your equal highs up there, you got your equal lows down here. Those are the areas which I want to get involved with, not this area here per se. Not that we can't get reaction, but I'd rather be up high or down low with dollar CHF. But if we do see a nice break of structure, it will increase the probability and the quality of the opportunity for shorts for dollar CHF. So if you can get a break like this at some point this week or whenever, really, looking for the lower high would look like a nice opportunity, and looking for some downside will look good as well. So yeah, I would be looking at something like that for dollar CHF. Not my favorite trades, not really at the location which I'd want to get involved with. But if you are looking to trade it, I do think there is some downside. There is some room to the downside for dollar CHF. Market's still pretty stretched. Probably going to have a bigger pullback at some point. So I'll keep an eye on something like that for dollar CHF. Breaking structure, pullbacks, then some downside. And of course, the DXY is pretty much doing that as well. So nice head and shoulder pattern could be forming pretty soon. Let me know what you're looking at for dollar CHF as well. All right, no problem. Will, take care, my man. Have a good one. Adios. Hopefully you see you tomorrow. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Appreciate it. It is free. That is so true. Yeah, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. It does really help out. Hit the bell whilst you're at it too, so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But I do appreciate everyone who has liked, subscribed to the channel so far. It does really help out. But yeah, we'll go through some yen pairs now. So already chatted about CAD yen, Aussie and New Zealand yen, really nice breakouts. Dollar yen, I think actually looks really good. The only thing I don't like about dollar yen is the level we're trading into on the weekly chart. So if I expand to the weekly time frame, you can see we've got a massive level of resistance here. That's the only thing really puts me off getting involved with dollar yen. Well, I am trading CAD yen, so that too. But if I wasn't trading CAD yen, the only thing that would be putting me off jumping into some shorts with dollar yen is this big level here at 151. Preferably, I want price to be below this. If we could have this price action here just below the level, that'd be fantastic. I'll be looking for a really big drop back into this area, 141 for dollar yen. If you look at CAD yen, the one I'm trading at the moment, you can see we're respecting major resistance here. In fact, if I draw it across there, you can see we're respecting major resistance on the weekly chart. So as you can see, massive rejection once, twice, and now a third time. Hence why I was shorting CAD yen up there. If you go take a look at Euro yen, that's doing the same thing as well. Respecting major resistance on the weekly chart. Again, resistance over here, taking that across, respecting it there too. Bit of a fake out there, but price came straight back below. So we are holding that level still. And now I can expect to see more downside as long as we stay below. With dollar yen's case, we're trading above it. So it's actually going to be acting as support. And you can see we have pulled back a little bit. So that does worry me a little bit in terms of the shorts for dollar yen. It'll be interesting to see how this weekly candle does close, whether we go fill that wick or we leave a bigger wick. That's going to be a big, a significant piece of information going into next week. But so far, we are rejecting that low a little bit. I still do like the shorts, however, I wouldn't be so optimistic with the target. So as I said, if I just move this out the way, as I said yesterday, I do like the lower highs here. 1, 2, of course, the lower low there. Looks like we formed the next lower low. So I do like the shorts. If we were to come back and retest this area here, at least this area is further away from that weekly zone. So if we can get some shorts in this area, I think we'll get some nice entries, see a nice reaction. I just wouldn't be too optimistic with the targets. If you can get a push back to the low, I think that's a great trade. You probably want to call it a day because we very much could bounce at this weekly zone, and all those floating profits, you can wave goodbye to them. So if price is going to hold that weekly zone, if I go back to the weekly chart and add that weekly zone back in, drop back to the full hour. So yeah, if you can catch some shorts from here, that looks good. But as I said, we're coming straight back down to that weekly zone. We could definitely bounce from there. And yeah, you can wave goodbye to those profits. So being careful, being aware of what the high time frames are doing can be a very, very useful bit of information, even if you're trading the low time frames, because okay, this trade I can push far because we're respecting a high time frame level. Essentially what I'm doing with CAD yen. But with dollar yen, even though it's a yen pair, and even though it's probably going to do something similar with CAD yen, I at least want it to be trading below this level, and then I can use it to my advantage. Pullbacks into this area, lower highs will look like some really nice trades if something like that can form. But at the moment, we're trading above it, so it's not particularly great, and I would wait for price to go and break structure first. But nonetheless, nice opportunity. Just wouldn't be so confident to push that trade too far. So that's kind of where I'm at with dollar yen. In terms of CHF JPY, CHF JPY is an interesting one. We've broken through some structure here on the left, so really nice break there. So now this has definitely made me bearish on CHF JPY because we had this bullish structure. Market was creating higher highs and higher lows, so things were looking pretty bullish, and we had some nice momentum there. But now that we've gone and broken through that, it's invalidated all of this bearish bullish structure on the left, and now I'm more focused on the lower lows and lower highs prices printing over here. And I'll be looking at the next lower high now. So looking at this as our bearish leg from that high to that low. And again, we've got some nice confluence back at this area, just testing that 50 region. It would be nice to see CHF JPY pull back into that area, which is 173.5. Respect that. And again, looking for the next wave, looking for the next lower high. So overall, pretty bearish on CHF JPY as well. This was looking a lot more confident. I'm liking how we're looking on the higher time frames as well, breaking underneath some key lows. But the key thing this week really was the breaker structure of that 172.300 level, which we did get with some nice momentum too. We didn't break it correctively or half-heartedly. We really had some nice momentum kick through those doors. So now I want to see some pullback, retest 173.5. Nice confidence in that level, in that area. And yeah, expecting the drop there for CHF JPY. As you can see, pretty much all these yen pairs, I'm favoring yen to be strong. The market structure aligns with that bias. So as long as we can maintain structure, we don't go and break through it, expecting that to really come into play. No problem, Ahmed. Happy to help. Okay, Andreas, we'll go take a look at New Zealand CAD as well. And Blessing, we'll take a look at Euro USD and Euro Yen. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for CHF JPY. I'll go through Euro Yen since I'm still on the topic of yen pairs. So Euro Yen as well, looking for a lot more downside for this one. As I touched on briefly, we were respecting that key level on the weekly chart, 163, 164. Price still respecting a very key area, which is giving us that massive head and shoulder pattern on the weekly chart. So you got the left shoulder there, you got the head over there, and of course you got the right shoulder. So now the plan is to see if we can get a push right back down into the lows, which is around 155. There's a good chance we can come back, test those lows, and possibly get a break of that as well, which would mean a lot more downside. But for now, let's just focus on on the play at hand, which is a move back down to 155. That's what we're looking for euro yen. So dropping to the 4-hour chart, as long as we can maintain structure as well, I'm looking at this as our bearish leg to the downside from the high over there to the low. So again, 50% pullback takes us into this area. That to me looks like a healthy place for a pullback. These are the lower highs. And of course, that's your low. So if you can get a pullback like this into that area, that would be a nice opportunity. Basically, carbon copy of the other opportunities we looked at. Same as pound yen, same as if we go take a look at pound yen, the opportunity is the same as pound yen. The pullback to the 50, retest some lows, continuation there. Same as CHF JPY as well. Pull back into the 50, retest some lows, continuation. Same as dollar yen as well. Retest of the 50. Well, probably 0.618 for this one actually. Yeah, 50, 0.618 into that area, looking for the continuation. And of course, euro yen, same thing there as well, looking for the retest of 0.5. So all the yen pairs are lining up very well, all giving us that bearish structure, doing the same thing as well. Just about picking the better ones, better entries, and then taking the shorts accordingly. And of course, CAD yen with myself. CAD yen, not quite. We haven't really been seeing lower lows and lower highs with CAD yen. The CAD yen had that bullish channel, seeing the higher highs and higher lows. And we've only just got the break of structure of that recently. So for CAD yen, we actually had some equal highs. Now for CAD yen, we're actually going to be looking for some lower highs now. So the setup with this one is slightly different because there is no kind of developed bearish structure yet, but I'm hoping that could be the case in the next few days. And I'm looking for the retest of the low, and that's the same thing with Aussie yen and New Zealand yen as well. Again, don't have necessarily developed bearish structure, but we've broken out some ranges. So now I'm looking for the lower high of that. And same with New Zealand yen as well. Broken out of the lower high. So now I'm looking for some lower highs there too. So broken out the range, sorry. So now I'm looking for some lower highs as well. So yeah, they look really good. All pretty much doing similar things. Now it's just about finding the best opportunity and getting to those shorts. Anyway, we'll go through New Zealand CAD for Andreas, and then we'll take a look at Euro USD as well. Let me know if you guys want me to take a look at any other markets as well. Just drop it down in the chat. We'll take a look. Hey, what's up, Ben? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope you're doing good as well. So yeah, we'll go through New Zealand CAD. So New Zealand CAD surprised me this week. I was looking to sell New Zealand CAD this week, but it actually was pretty bullish. We had pretty weak CAD this week on Tuesday, which came out of nowhere. It helped out my CAD yen short, so I'm not going to complain, but it came out of nowhere and we had a big push to the upside for all the CAD pairs. Then we had New Zealand interest rates on Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. And that caused some more bullish momentum for New Zealand. So New Zealand CAD had two big moves to the upside this week. One push, second push. But the key thing I'm looking at is the ascending channel in the higher time frames, which looks like price is closing back above, which is not what I want to see. I mean, it is still only Thursday. We could still see price pull back, leave a big wick potentially by Friday. But at the moment, price is trading above it. So that's not what I want to be seeing as a seller anyway. If anything, this might represent a bit of a fake out and could be the start of a big move to the upside as well. If market wants to continue this channel, continue forming the higher lows, this is the area that's going to happen. It's the last point of call. If we're to break through this, then I'm looking at push all the way down to that low, which we did last week. Hence why I was looking for a push down to that low and still am. We haven't closed above the channel just yet. We could do, I'll see on Friday. But if we are going to close above, then that will invalidate the sales altogether. And since we have broken through structure, I would be looking at some higher lows and some break and retest to take this to the upside. Maybe on the retest of that prior high there could end up being a nice place for a buy. And of course, since we're at the low of the channel, that could be onto a really big move. If we are going to see price get back to the high of the channel, at least double top it or something like that. So there's a lot of upside in the cards, a lot of downside in the cards as well. If we're to get back to that low, very, very pivotal area right now. It just depends how price wants to react, really. At the moment in time, looking pretty bullish. Looks like we might be pushing to the upside here. In terms of opportunity for a buy, it's not clear cut. So I would wait for price to break through structure here at 0.826, then find some buys above that on the retest. But in my book, it does look like Ainsley CAD is shifting from bearish to bullish here. We've seen aggressive momentum to the upside. So if you were to continue with that pullback, probably going to get a retest and a continuation there, and 0.826 looks like the best area for some buys to me. So that would be my bias if we're to continue pushing up and of course get a strong close on the weekly chart. In terms of Euro USD, so Euro USD, I'm not quite ready for the buys yet. I do like what DXY did, which is a really strong move to the downside in terms of breaking structure. I am looking for the DXY to form a lower high at some point in a big move down. So of course for Euro USD, I'll be looking at pretty much the exact opposite. But the only thing with Euro USD is that we haven't broken through structure yet. We haven't taken out that high. So in terms of the quality of the opportunity, it's not quite there yet. I like Euro USD to push up, take out the higher pullback, and then push on. Of course, in terms of targets, I'm looking at these prior lows here, 1.07, 1.08, or just underneath that. Looks like really nice targets for Euro USD. So there's a lot of upside on the cards. The market's been falling for quite a while, still very stretched to the downside. So I'm pretty bullish on Euro USD. I do think we're going to see a pretty big move to the upside, just at least as retracement, even if the big move is still bearish. Even if we are just going to pull back, this move here, test the 50 or the 0.618 and continue. But I do think the bigger move, at least for now, is likely to the upside. So I like the buys here. There's a nice area of demand, price consolidated for a few hours before a strong push up there. So this could be an area which price gets to, taps in, and then continues. But the break structure would be pretty essential there. So if we can show evidence of breaking highs, then pulling back, the chances are we're going to go and break highs again and push on. And of course, with the weekly chart, you can see price is still just about hanging on to that low. So the buys are still in a great place for a long. And yeah, I do expect to see that bounce there from, I was about to say New Zealand CAD, but I do expect the bounce there for New Zealand CAD and Euro USD as well. So yeah, that's very much the plan there for Euro USD. If you can get that breaker structure, that would be nice. And then, yeah, I would expect price to push on. So let me know what you're looking at for Euro USD. That's the 5-hour chart. But yeah, I'm looking for pretty much a bounce there for Euro. Jay Furno, okay, we'll take a look at USDZR. It has been a while since I've dabbled with USDZR, but we'll take a look. Okay, so we've just been moving sideways since we last spoke. Okay, it's looking pretty interesting. It's looking like potentially this could be the start of a higher low to push on. It looks like characteristics are slightly changing here for USDZR. Yeah, it does look things are changing because we've had that really nice, lower lows and lower highs as price has been pushing down. It looks to me that we've broken out of that structure a little bit, and things are looking slightly different now. So I think the buys still look good if we were to push back down to the lows here or the prior highs around 17.815. I think that's still a nice place for a buy. Certainly for a strong move down, taking out the lows here, giving us a nice little bull flag. I think that looks like a nice bullish opportunity. Something like that, buying at the lows there and then catching that the next high low. It does look like we're starting to shift from bearish to bullish now. Maybe since we swept the lows there, price is now potentially going to change direction. So yeah, I would be looking at buys a lot deeper now for USDZR. 17.815 looks good. I wouldn't really look to do too much at these prices. Don't really have too much going for me in terms of confluences or anything feasible. This is a bit aggressive. It is counter trend, but we have swept some important lows now, and those are like characteristics are changing. You can see we've broken out that channel now as well. So to me, it looks like possibly directions are changing, and we could be seeing a pretty big move to the upside now for USDZR. So Yeah, I would be pretty bullish there. Keep an eye on the retest of that area. We'd like to see at least one more drop to the downside, retest, price structure there. Prior resistance will be turned support now. Take out those lows, whilst we're there as well. And hopefully that could be a nice catalyst to get things going. But yeah, I would be pretty bullish now for USDR. Not necessarily expecting price to get back to the highs, but at least the push back to the swing high here makes a lot of sense. So yeah, that's kind of where I'd be with USDR. It's been a while since I've looked at the exotic currency pairs. I used to trade peso a bit. What's that one been doing? Okay, it's been pushing up pretty well. It's probably due another sell at some point, but yeah, not really interested in the exotics just because of the swap is just a bit too heavy. If we're going to trade peso, well, I'll probably only just look to sell the market. It's a bit of a pain if you're doing anything else. I swing trade, Varon. I take entries on the 4 hour chart, and I do look to swing my positions. Yeah, I do look to swing my positions. The current trade I'm in now, CAD Yen, and I'm definitely looking to swing that trade. Yeah, it does depend on the position because sometimes I can have a lot closer targets, but my average hold time is more than a few days. So I would classify myself as a swing trader, especially from shifting from 4 hour from hourly entries to 4 hour. With hourly entries, there's a bit more intra-week. I will still hold my trades for more than a day, but less than a week on average. Now it's probably around that, to be honest. So yeah, swing trading. I think CAD Gen is going to be my main focus with that one. Plan with CJ. Okay, short form 99.22 on Aussie Yen. I actually really like Aussie Yen. I might actually look to get involved with Aussie. But yeah, the plan with CAD Gen is look to swing it back down to 103. It's the optimistic plan, but it's the plan nonetheless. I've secured 50% of my profits, so I'm not too emotionally attached with the position. I have secured gains, so worst case scenario, I do get trailed out. I have trailed my stop loss to this area here, 109.702, just above that zone. So worst case scenario, I'm trailed out there, still walk away for decent profit. But I am leaving the other half to run to see if I can get it back down to 103 because I am looking at that swing. And the idea as well is to look to see if I can find some additional entries on the retest of 109.200 and look to see if I can add a trade to it. I also do really like Aussie Yen too. The breakout, the range was beautiful, and things are looking really, really healthy. So a retest of 99.4 ish would be a nice area for a short as well. Stops above, and again looking for the swing to the downside. CAD Yen, Aussie Yen look really, really good. Depending how CAD Yen performs and how everything looks with that, I may look for my additional entry on Aussie Yen instead of CAD Yen. But we'll see. We'll see how everything develops. But yeah, the plan is very much look to keep shorting the yen pairs. And Aussie Yen definitely looks really good. So entries around there look good. CAD Yen entries around the 109.500 level looks good as well. Depends if we can get back there, but I think shorts look good. And yeah, if I can find some entries, I will be a happy bunny. But yeah, I'm looking to see if I can leverage the profits I made, which I closed at that low, and put that up to risk some more, and then hopefully capitalize on the biggest short back to 103 and really take advantage of the trade. Yeah, I saw that JPY basket did have a pretty big move up. Yeah, so you can hold above. Yeah, it's going to be interesting for the JPY basket because, of course, that's going to be a big indication of what happens with the M pairs altogether. We are coming back into this area here, which would be an interesting place for us to bounce from. I'm also looking at this area here at 6,400 as well. Either which one, I'm looking for it to hold. I just don't want to see price, have a heavy sell-off. If we can slowly move to the downside correctively, that will give me the impression that this is the impulse move, this is the correction, and we'll like to continue further. If we don't hold 6,500, which is that low, then I'm looking at the retest of 6,400, which is this area, and the push. If we break below that, that's when things get a bit dodgy. I'll probably be trailed out my CAD Yen short anyway. Now I'm look to reanalyze and go from there. But for now, I do think we can flip to the upside. A key thing as well to note is that the index is still holding on to some key support. I'm looking for the index to break that support. I think if the index breaks through 37,800, we're probably going to be in the money for the yen pairs in terms of a big drop down. Because at the moment in time, it's all just about respecting support, bouncing on it. So if this can break the low and push to these prices, then yeah, you're going to see the yen pairs really tank, and everything's going to look all rosy at that point. If you're bearish on the yen pairs, that is. So I do like the downside here for the yen pairs. The index, I wanted to see if it can break through that support, and then things will probably look good. If not, then maybe the yen pairs might see a bit of a bounce. Okay, not going break even. Okay, fair enough. Pretty common push down. Stop loss will take profit for stop loss will take profit with this one. All in. I like that. I mean, some positions you want to do that for, some positions you want to do that, some positions you want to be a bit more careful with. When I was long Euro USD just before the US elections, that one I was a lot more aggressive with my stop loss because that was going against a lot of momentum. And I know you were in a similar trade to that one as well, I'm pretty sure, Ben. So yeah, Euro USD, I was long. I was long from down here, and then we had a nice push up, and I had my stop loss trail to like here or something, and then I did get taken out. I think this was like after, was it the Fed interest rate or NFP? I can't remember. But I had something just with CPI, I think it was. We had a push down there. No, it was NFP. So we had I had my stop loss trailed there, got trailed out. But the reason why I was being aggressive is because we had such a big move to the downside here. Momentum is not in my favor. It's not like price has had some lovely up moves here. It's going against me. So with this position, I want to be aggressive with my stop loss placement and getting out that trade when I need to be out. And then other trades, you want to be a little bit more relaxed and give yourself a bit more room. And I think with the yen pairs, that's exactly that. I'm trying to give myself room with my trail stop loss, not trying to be too aggressive with it. Still got it trailed all the way up there. I'm not trying to force underneath the high there or anything. Trying to give it the room to pay out because it makes sense to. And I think that's a key thing to learn in terms of trading, that there is no size or shoe that fits everything. Everything is very unique. Every situation in the market is unique. So you want to have your thinking cap on and think, does it make sense to trail here? Does it make sense to have a take profit? Does it make sense to go break even now? Does it make sense to trail stops now? All those questions you do want to answer yourself if you want to really progress in your trading, because the market conditions have play such an important role. And if the market is ranging, then trading stops don't make too much sense. If the market is free flowing and seeing a nice trend, then of course trading stops will make a lot of sense in those conditions. But yeah, yen pairs look good, and I think there's a lot of downside for them. So if I can't get into CAD yen or it doesn't look good, or Aussie yen just looks really good, then I'll see if I can join you in the Aussie yen trade, because I really like the break of structure on that one. Out of the range, and hopefully you can find some shorts on a retest for some sells back into the low. That very much is the plan. I'll go through some of the crosses now, some of the other pairs. I haven't really been looking at any. I have missed some shorts on New Zealand CHF. It's starting to look pretty bullish now. I did actually get the setup on Tuesday, but I missed it. and then I was looking for the re-entry, but I decided not to take it because we had the interest rates decision for New Zealand dollar the following day, and I was expecting to see a bearish reaction for NZD, so I decided not to find the trade, um, not to enter the trade because I was expecting price to drop, and I was hoping to get a better entry price. But we actually pushed up, and price is now looking pretty bullish and it's leaving me behind a little bit. So unless price was to push back down into that zone, I think I don't have a trade anymore from New Zealand CHF. I'm still pretty bullish on this one. We're trading at some really nice prices, so I do expect price to bounce and see a push higher up. You can see massive lows here, massive rejection back at that same area again. I do think we can push back into the high at 0.536 as well. So that really is the plan there for New Zealand CHF. But at the moment, things are looking just a little bit dry. So if we can have a push down, that would be great. I can find some entries, stop loss underneath the zone. That is the plan. And the entries don't have to be all the way down there, probably be somewhere a little bit higher up. But something like that will look good. And I'm looking to see if I can push it back into the high. And you can see the risk reward looking pretty good in that position as well. I will look to lock in some gains as we approach the high here, though. 0.52624. Yes, as you can see, very sturdy level of resistance. Price respected on numerous occasions. So I definitely do want to watch out for that. But I definitely want to leave some positions to run to see if I can get it back to that high. Yeah, of course, that's such an important element. Market conditions and understanding how your trading, works in relation to that. Yeah, of course, comes over time with experience. Yeah, such an important part of trading. Dollar CAD move up recently ends up being a fake out. I'm looking to short. Yeah, it might be. I'll actually go take a look at that, and I'll go back over the CHF pairs. Because of course, if USD is going to sell off, because it looks like USD is having such a hard time at 107. Um, and by USD, I mean the DXY having such a time at 107 here. And it looks like we're forming some type of head and shoulder pattern here, left head and possible right shoulder. We had the break of structure yesterday as well. So to me, it looks like we've got some downside in store for USD. And maybe if dollar CAD is going to follow suit and see some downside as well, um, what I would want to see is a break of structure here. So price breaking through this low. And then, yeah, the shorts would look very, very good there for dollar CAD. Very, very good because markets had such a big move. We've taken out some major highs on the weekly chart as well. If this is just a fake out to sweep those highs before a big push down, then the chances of us seeing a lot of downside is very, very high. So with dollar CAD, the market is still bullish for me for now. We're still seeing higher highs and higher lows, and we're still trading above that weekly area there as well. The price can go and break through some structure, give us a low high. That will definitely change my bias there for dollar CAD, especially if DXY does form that head and shoulder pattern as well. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of downside potentially there for dollar CAD, but I would wait for that low to break. And also this up move here as well. It looks very anticlimactic, in terms of a really big push to the upside, kind of trapping in the last buys as we push up before a big sell. That's the kind of vibes I'm getting here with dollar CAD as well. I do think we can have a nice bounce first, but if we don't and price break structure, I would 100% agree with that bearish bias. If that is a big fake out, there could be a lot of downside for dollar CAD. I do naturally expect the USD pairs to retrace as well. So eventually, I do expect that move to be the case. But yeah, in terms of the CHF pairs, as I said, New Zealand CHF looked really good, but looks like I'm missing out on that opportunity there unless we come back down again and retest the support level. It might be a missed opportunity for myself. Yeah, maybe I should have just entered the trade anyway, despite the news. But in another universe, it made sense to wait for the news as well. Can't be using hindsight to validate everything because you'd be in a big what's the right word? You won't be able to be honest with your decisions because everything will be affected by hindsight. But in terms of the CHF pairs, and I did like New Zealand CHF. I do like pound CHF if it does break to the downside. I think there is a lot of momentum to be had with this one. It's similar to like the yen pairs in terms of the big drop in July, and possibly this might be the correction of that drop. So as you can see, big move to the downside. Prices form that consolidation slash retracement. If this is the correction of that move, then I do expect to see a big push down. And of course, we targets back down that low. So in my book, there's a lot of downside to be had with pound CHF. But if I'm going to find a trade here, I need price to break outside this range. And then that's when I'll start to look for opportunities. As long as we're in the range, that's a big no-go. I'm not looking to do anything there. And nothing I'll be interested in. If we're in the middle of the range, that's a complete dead zone. Don't be trading that. If you're looking to buy and sell the high and the low, I can understand that. Looking for entries down here for longs, looking for entries down there for the shorts, or up there for the shorts, I should say. Makes a lot of sense because that's all the market's been doing. But really, the move I'm looking for is the break of the range, hopefully with some nice impulse momentum. Then I'll be looking for the pullbacks and the continuations. And if we are going to see the continuation of that momentum there in July, the chances are we're coming back to that low. So it will be another trade which I want to be a bit more aggressive with the targets, trail stops, and see if I can really, take advantage of this move back to the low. Of course, I'll lock in some gains as well. This low here might be a reasonable shout to lock in some gains, but I'll definitely be leaving positions to run to see if I can push it pretty far. Yeah, I agree. A lot of good looking charts into the end of the year. Yeah, everyone expects a quiet December. Yeah, a lot of people don't like trading Decembers. I mean, I still trade December like it's just a normal month. The only time I will look to put a pause to my trading would be from like around Christmas time to the end of the year, until a little bit after New Year's Day. So like the 2nd or 3rd of Jan is when I'll start to look actively get back in the markets. But that kind of last week of December, normally momentum is pretty dead anyway, from Christmas to New Year's anyway. But in terms of the first 2-3 weeks of December, there's some really nice trades. All we need to do is just go back and look at what happened previous Decembers. There's been a lot of lovely moves. Of course, as we approach Christmas, momentum will slowly start to drop. But in the first half of December, it's just like any other month, really. But yeah, really nice opportunity there for pound CHF. In terms of the other CHF pairs, not really a big fan of. So Euro CHF, again, it's an area where we might have a bit of a bounce, but overall, not a big fan of this market. It's a nice low there. Price is respecting it pretty well. And again, we could probably go for a bounce here because we have swept the lows again to create new all-time lows. And that might be the catalyst needed to actually get a bit of a push up. But it's just a bit too aggressive. I understand I'm looking for a similar move on New Zealand CHF, but there's a bit more confidence with that one. We had a big fake out as well, which I'm using that to my advantage. So a huge spike to the downside, big fake out. Now this to me looks like the correction of the fake out, and now I'm expecting price to continue to the upside. So there's a bit more to that than Euro CHF. So I like that opportunity a lot more. Empower, what's up? Hope you're doing good. How do you manage patience? Still battling without 4 years in the market. Great stream. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, patience is always very difficult. Everyone has their own kind of weak points in the market. Some might be patience. Some might be greed. So you're always going to have that thing you're going to be looking to battle with. But in terms of patience, I would say having really precise understanding of what you're looking to trade and how you're looking to trade it. So really clear understanding of your strategy, and being able to stay in tune with the market as well. I would say those are the two key components of patience, because a lack of patience means that you're not very in tune with the market because you're buying and selling too early, most of the time. And if you don't understand your strategy very, very well, very, very precisely, then of course your timing is going to be off of your strategy anyway. But my biggest tip is to understand your strategy very well and understand the condition of the market and being in tune with that. So if the market is trending, very, very heavily to the upside, for example, and you're looking for pullbacks, if you're kind of suffering in terms of patience, it means that maybe you're looking to, if you're looking to go mean reversion in terms of going against the trend, you're looking to short a little bit too early. The market might push up a little bit further before it does eventually topple. So you want to understand exactly what you're looking for, which is the sign that the market's about to topple, and then make sure you're taking that in context with the market, because not every trend's going to be aggressive like this. Some trends are going to be a bit more slower. Some trends are going to be very, very slow. So you need to understand the conditions you're in and think, is it the right time for me to deploy the strategy? Because at the end of the day, we're all buying and selling. We just want to buy at the right time and sell at the right time. And a key component of that is just understanding, does it make sense to use the strategy now in these conditions? If the answer is yes, then take the trade. You're not going to be perfect. No one knows really when the market's going to turn. But being able to stay in tune with conditions will really help that. And then, like I said, just understand your strategy well will make sure that you only take the trades you're supposed to take. And also try and set limits on your trading as well. That's a simple way to slow things down. If you're taking too many trades, set yourself one trade per day, 2 or 3 trades per week, whatever kind of limits you're working with. Set yourself a limit and then stick within those limits. And naturally, you end up taking better trades because you've only got so many bullets in the chamber. If you allow yourself to take 10 trades a week, then of course you're going to take some rubbish trades. If you allow yourself maximum 3 trades per week, for example, then of course you're going to be a bit more picky and you're going to spend your bullets wisely. So that's another way you can look at it. But yeah, hopefully that makes a difference. But yeah, in terms of CAD CHF as well, this one's an interesting one. I was actually looking to buy CAD CHF at the start of the week, but we had a really big sell-off and it's actually gone and broken through structure. So that's completely invalidated my bullish bias. And now I'm no longer interested in buying it. And since we're back inside the range, to me, this looks like a sell opportunity. Again, not really a trade that I'm after, but if you're looking for a bit of range play, this to me looks like a massive fake out of the range. Now price is back at the high. I will be expecting a bit of a drop there for CAD CHF now. Yeah, the original plan was looking for the retest here and looking for the higher low, but we had such a big drop. CAD was so weak, so it just completely invalidated that, and of course broke through structure as well. So I'm no longer interested in taking CAD CHF to the upside. And like I said, if anything, if you can respect the highs here, you probably will go through another sell. So CAD CHF, not really an opportunity I'm looking at anymore. And then Aussie CHF, just not trading at any area of interest for myself. So there's nothing for me to do really. We've got the equal lows down here. We've got the equal highs over there. And I'm looking for price to actually come back to one of those areas. At the moment, we're kind of just doing nothing. We're trading in between that. So until we come back to 0.562 or push up to 0.586, I don't really see much opportunity to do anything really with Aussie CHF here. So yeah, the CHF pair is not really doing it for me. I missed the opportunity in New Zealand CHF. So I'll hold my hands up for that. But the other CHF pair is not ready yet. And pound CHF, I need to see that breakout before I do get involved. Yeah, of course, it's very psychological as well. It's difficult because the reason why you might be impatient could be a very different reason for why someone else is impatient as well. So if you can understand the root cause of your impatientness, then you can really tackle that head on, because someone else can be impatient for a different reason. If you're having kind of money issues, you might be impatient because you want to quickly fix them. That could be causing a lot of mistakes. Some it could be strategy issues, timing issues, yeah, some other type of emotion causing some problems. So if you understand why you're impatient, then you can really fast track your progression there. Yeah, of course, that's just another reason what could cause impatience as well. Michael Jacobs, what's up? Hope you're well. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Thoughts on CAD Chef bought at 0.6275. Just went through CAD Chef. But yeah, CAD Chef, as I said, I'm not a big fan of the buys anymore. I was looking to buy it at the start of the week, but like I said, it broke through structure, so it completely invalidated my setup. And now we're coming back into the high there of resistance. So I would be very careful about the buys in that area. You said you got some buys from 0.62875, 62875. Okay, it's a nice entry entered at the double bottom here. 875 is roughly around there. What would you say is your targets for the trade? How far are you looking to take it? Because at the moment, we're coming back to some areas where I would be a bit careful. I think closing some profits could be a smart move because of how choppy the market is moving. It's very, very difficult to try and catch the lows and the highs in conditions like this. So it's always better to lock in some gains whilst you got some. And of course, if you have bigger targets, you can always leave, 50%, 60%, 75% to run. It's up to you how much partial you want to take. But you've had a nice move there. You'll come back to some resistance. I would be a bit careful of that. Possibly we might be seeing continuation back to the high there. Might make new highs as well. But I would be careful at this level. Because at the same time, if we're going to reject it, price is probably going to come back to your entry and probably go past that as well. So I would be careful of that. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm looking at CAD CHF at the moment. Empower, yes, I will take a look at the DAX, no problem. Okay, you currently break even. Tape, okay, TP1 here, TP2 around 0.64. Okay, so basically the high there. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Take profit one hit, assume, yeah, break even. I assume you probably locked in some gains at that take profit one as well. So no risk on the table if price does reverse against you. So be it, you're not always going to catch a winner, but if it does push on, you got positions to run to potentially the high there. So yeah, I think in terms of management, spot on really. Now let the market do its thing. See if we're going to continue in your favor. It's not. And yeah, all you have to do is sit back and wait. You locked in gains, secured risk. There's nothing else for you to do there. To be honest, other than wait and see if your targets are going to be respected. But yeah, that would be my area of which I would be a bit careful at. But if you can break above it, then hopefully price can get to 0.64 to your take profit. DAX, okay, we'll go have a look at the DAX. What has the DAX been doing? Okay, so it's still stuck at that same area. So yeah, the DAX it's been a choppy one with the DAX, I must say. We've been struggling at a few areas. Overall, I'm pretty bullish on the DAX, so I do expect us to push back to the high here, which is 19,693. That's still the move I'm looking at. We've had some really lovely rejections of the high here as support, a lot of wicks into that same area. So overall, the DAX, I do think we can see a push back to the high. The market trend is still very much up. Conditions are still bullish. We're just having a very choppy consolidation here as well. In terms of the shorts, this is a nice area for short. Prices respect this area on a few occasions. You can see the low highs, 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially a 5 one there, fifth one there as well. So this is a nice area for a short, but I'll just be careful in terms of how aggressive you want to be with your targets, because looking for a short all the way back to the low is doable. But given the fact that the higher time frames are bullish, if you're going to take shorts in these conditions, it's always going to be very difficult. So I would be looking at securing gains pretty quickly. A drop to the hourly chart, even if we can get pushed back to the high here, probably looking at securing some gains there, to be honest. 19,300, and then I'll probably secure some more down here, and then if I can leave some to trail back to the low, that would be great. But this is a nice place for a sell. If you're looking to long the DAX, now is probably not the right time for that. You want to see price either push back down or break structure, break out that trend line. look for some buys above that. Hopefully momentum will be looking good there as well. Then we can look at some buys back to the high and some break and retest. So if you're bullish on the DAX, you want to see evidence of price breaking highs again, because we're still in that area where we are forming lower highs. And we have seen some really nice sells in the past here. Big drop there as well. Bit of a mini one there as well, but who knows, we might see another big drop there too. So it's in an area where sellers are sitting, buyers are struggling to push price any further. So if we do see them be successful with that, then we can speak about some buys and just take it back to the high there and just continue that long-term trend. On the other hand, right now, we are seeing some really strong rejection with that 4-hour wick. This candle's about to close in the next 50 minutes. That's interesting. I didn't know it closes at half past. But yeah, it looks like it does. Wow. So yeah, it looks like that candle's about to close in the next 50 minutes, and that leaves behind a pretty big wick. So to me, that's a sign we probably will see another bearish reaction. But as I said, being a little bit more conservative with targets, just because we understand higher time frames are pretty bullish, and we could see price do that at either one of those areas. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the DAX. Nice area for a sell, but just be careful because we're counter trend here. And it's not like it's an FX market which chops around a bit more, so you can get away with counter trend a little bit more. With indices, especially like the DAX, which it does have its direction to the upside. You can take shorts in these conditions. It's not impossible, but you want to be careful and not being too optimistic with your targets here. There's a little bit more money to be made with the buys than the sells. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for the DAX there. In terms of some of the other indices, I know the market's going to be a bit dead for the US indices today. Yeah, because of course Thanksgiving. But I still think there's opportunities with these ones later on, maybe next week. I still do like this area here for a buy. For NAS 100 back to 20k. I think that's a really nice place for a buy. I'm still expecting new all-time highs here with NAS. I'm just not a big fan of how choppy the market's been. As you can see, we've been very, very corrective with this ascending channel here. Not really feeling with much confidence, to be honest. I want NAS to have another drop, especially because we had such an aggressive drop over here, and this actually looks like the correction to me. So I would expect another drop to the downside and then some buys back up again. If we take a look at the S&P, yep, this one's slowly pushed to the upside. So I want to see a big break of that, and then we speak about the buys again, because at the moment that's just way too corrective. Might even have another big sell-off, to be honest. And then US 30, that one creating new highs, so that one's doing pretty well. Again, even with US 30, I want a bigger pullback with that one too. Especially after creating new all-time highs, we're going to pull back most likely anyway. So yeah, with the indices across the board, a lot of the major indices I'm still very bullish on. DAX, US indices, UK 100. Yeah, that's had a big break past that point there as well, so probably going to push back to the highs there anyway. But I would want to see a retest there. So yeah, overall, the DAX, UK 100, US 100s, all looking very, very bullish to me. But I think pullbacks are likely before we do continue. But yeah, I think the main focus with USD anyway, with myself, will be with looking for selling opportunities. And the only dollar pair I do like is actually Aussie dollar at the moment. So that's the only one I'll be looking to get involved with. And even with this one, I do want to see one more push down first, and then I'll be looking for some buys. I like this area here at 0.64, really sturdy level of support there. If I can see one more drop to the downside, market stretched, nice momentum, see some nice reverse opportunities, I will look for some buys there to see if I can catch the relief of the market, because again, we're very stretched, very overextended. Haven't really seen much of a pullback. The biggest pullback we've had in a while was this move here. I'm pretty sure that was the US elections, was it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So the market is pretty stretched and it's due a pullback, and same with the other USD pairs as well. It's just I do want to see price have one more push down first, and then I'll start speaking on the buys there with Aussie dollar. What I think of the move on UK 100? Yeah, I just had a look at that one. A bit surprising to be fair. I didn't expect that to happen. I was looking for another sell because we broke underneath the low. I think this was a couple of weeks ago. Not a couple of weeks ago, a couple of days ago. We broke through the low, so I was looking at another push to the downside, but we actually shot back up again, which I was not expecting. And I'm looking at the weekly chart. Let me get rid of my drawings. Looking at the weekly chart, overall, it looks like the market's still likely going to get back to the high there at 84.54. But first, I'll need to see a bit of a correction. I think the move is pretty significant, especially with that strong close. So I do think we're just going to push up. But in terms of finding entries as we push back in the range, it's really, really difficult to get any good entries. We need to push right back down first, back into support, back into areas where we can get a logical place for a stop loss, somewhere down here around 81.75. And then we can speak about the buys again, because entering buys at these prices, you can see how price is moving. Very, very awkward. So yeah, I'll be pretty bullish here with UK 100. Especially after that move there, and I'll be looking at push back into the high at 84.50. I do like the price action. I mean, no, let me take that back. I don't like the price action, but I like it more since we've had that move. Let's rephrase that better, because the price action is pretty horrendous. But yeah, now a retest of that level will make a lot of sense. Nice stop loss underneath that. Are you looking to trade the UK 100, Ben? I know you sometimes dabble with that one and the DAX as well. Oh, that is not what I meant to do. Yeah, I know you sometimes dabble with them. But of course, probably not the best day to be looking for big moves anyway, because we'll probably be a little bit dry. I know some brokers will have their indices closed for today because of Thanksgiving. New York Stock Exchange, I'm pretty sure, is closed today as well. So really, London session is the only time to see a bit of movement today, probably. New York's going to be dead. But hopefully we can pick up early next week. Friday, I'm not expecting too much. I know we do have a bit of news, which I'll go double check quickly. So yeah, Friday we've got actually a bunch of Euro news actually. We've got French, German, Spanish. We got retail sales, PPI, GDP growth rate. And then we've got Euro itself, Euro the currency, Euro the bank, CPI at 10. So as I start my stream, we have that CPI news there. So that'll be interesting. Inflation rates bet to go up. And then in the afternoon, we've got GDP growth rate for CAD. And not much for USD, actually. Not much for USD, but CAD GDP growth rate. So it's not a bad end of the week. Nothing major. Of course, next Friday we'll have our NFP on the Friday. So that will be exciting stuff, of course. But yeah, not much Friday as well. Don't really learn my lesson with UK 100. It's very painful. Starting to shape up, it looks good. I might be tempted. Yeah. If it's not looking A1, there's no need to really do anything and take a trade that is not necessarily warranted. Because at the end of the day, every trade is an opportunity to make money, and it's an opportunity to lose money as well. And if it's not looking quite good, if it's not ticking the box as well, there's no need to put up that risk, because you're just giving the market an opportunity to swipe that swipe the pips away from you. So unless it's a good opportunity, no need to jump into anything. And the UK 100 will have its moments where it does look good. It's just a little bit more few and far between. But yeah, I do agree buys look good, but I would want price to at least pull back before looking for any continuations. What's up, Perberry Show? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Here learning again. Thank you for this. No problem. And all streams are recorded as well. So if you do miss the stream, not to worry, it is uploaded onto my channel. And I do clips of the first few minutes of the stream going through the USD markets as well. So you can find that on the channel. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. As I said, my main focus really for the rest of the week is with yen. I'll keep an eye on Aussie dollar if it does have that move back down into 0.64, but I highly doubt we'll make that move this week. It's probably more for next week. I'll be looking at that. But yeah, CAD yen shorts look good. Aussie yen shorts look good. A lot of the yen pairs shorts look good. It's just about timing now. So yeah, hopefully you can get the pullback. I think we do have some some yen news, or was that next week? We've got yen consumer confidence at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, which is not the biggest news in the world. Yen retail sales at 11.50 as well, not the biggest news in the world. Probably won't cause too much, but maybe it might move the market a little bit. But anyway, the technicals still stay the same. So looking at the retest of that zone there for some shorts, and hopefully you can get a big sell to the low. What's up, Ninad? Welcome to the stream, my man. I hope you are doing good. Welcome, welcome. Okay, about 2 weeks. Yeah, that's a good amount. 2 a week. If you average that over the course of the year, that's about 100 trades. Just can't help myself looking at other markets. If it looks good, it's very tempting. Yeah, what you could do is focus on the pairs that you trade, and then any other markets outside of that. If there's a good opportunity, because the opportunity is opportunity. If it's good, if you take the opportunity 100 times, you probably walk away with profit. So taking those trades too, it's probably worth your time as well. It's just maybe if it's not a part of the plan or the part of the market you're supposed to look at, what you could do is just reduce the risk on those trades to half or a third or whatever of what you normally use on the market you're supposed to look at and supposed to trade. Um, in that case, you're not risking, not putting yourself in any unnecessary risk, but you're still kind of taking advantage of those opportunities, because a good opportunity is a good opportunity nonetheless, whatever market it is. Really, that's the way I see it. I see it. Of course, people have their preferences with which markets they trade, but if you get a good opportunity on the DAX or Euro USD, a good opportunity is a good opportunity. But then again, you can have your rules, whatever. If you're not interested in other markets and you get enough trades, then you don't need to. That's up to you as well. Yes, we are expecting the market to be the volume of the market to be a lot less today with Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure the New York Stock Exchange is closed completely, so I'm not going to see any momentum there. But with like London session, Asian session coming later, those are not going to be really affected by Thanksgiving because everything is as normal with those respective sessions. London's it's a normal day in London, and same with Asian markets as well, I think. But of course, US session is going to be a bit dry. So yes, USD markets will be a little bit stale, and pretty much all FX markets will be a bit dry, and pretty much all markets will be a bit dry today because US is the main session really. So yeah, not going to see as big moves this Thursday, and probably not tomorrow as well. So probably next week we might see everything back into full flow again. Yeah, exactly. I very much believe in that. Of course, you're going to have the markets you're comfortable trading with, and everyone will do that as well. But if you're not comfortable and it's not part of the plan per se, you can always just reduce the risk. Um, yeah, exactly. Comfort zone comes first. Exactly. At the end of the day, you're risking capital here, so you want to make sure that you're comfortable taking those trades. And if you're not comfortable, don't take the trade. You don't have to, but if you want to, if you like the opportunity, it makes sense, but it's not a market you normally trade, reduce the risk, or go put it on a demo account. Build up confidence, and maybe you can add it to your watch list. Because if you can trade another market well and find good opportunities on that market too, then you're probably doing yourself a disservice not to have it on your watch list. Um, you're probably doing yourself a disservice not to have in your watch list to take a trade. So once you gain some confidence, then you can add it to your watch list and look for some opportunities with it. I mean, that was the same with me with gold and silver initially. Then I added it to my watch list. Now I'm doing the same with US 30, and then eventually with the other US indices as well. But yeah, there's more than enough opportunities in the market, especially with FX pairs alone. There's like 30, and a lot more if you include exotics as well. But in terms of the majors and minors, there's about 30 markets to look at. So it will give you enough opportunities. It's just about making sure you look for the good ones. How is gold and silver doing? Not much movement. Yeah, of course. Not going to expect too much movement in these guys anyway. But the DXY was looking a little bit bearish. Okay, it's pulled back a little bit. So yeah, it's going to be a dry a dry day today. Not going to see too much movement. It might be a nice day to take the day off, especially if you're intraday trading. Really, um, could even call it an early week, to be honest. Yeah, exotic spreads are definitely really bad. Like, I would not recommend day trading or scalping on exotics. That's probably the worst thing you can do. Um, and of course, the swap is horrendous as well. And on the other side, the swap's actually very good as well if you're trading in the right direction for positive swap. You can actually get some really nice swap there, to be honest. So yeah, yeah, but they're not great. They're not great to the trade. They do have the opportunities, just like any other FX pair. There's some really good trades on exotics. I've traded exotics for a while, but I stopped because of spreads and because of the swap. Um, and the price action is not as neat as well as the other FX markets because there's a bit more volume with the other FX markets. So the price action is a bit tidier, less kind of random wicks. Um, but from time to time, there is a good trade. Day off from trading, not a day off from learning. So true, so true. Well said, though. Well said. Like Holy One said, every day is a school day. All right, take care, Holy One. We'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, the market can be a little bit more free flowing. But yeah, looking at Euro USD, not much movement there as well. So yeah, although we've seen some nice movement yesterday, we had that kind of big strong move up. Probably not going to see the continuation of that, unfortunately. Would it be nice to see the continuation of that because that would have given me the break of structures I'm looking for. Break the highs, then look for the pullbacks afterwards. And the USD had a really nice move as well, but just shy of breaking the highs. So yeah, looking for us to go and break through some structure, and that will be the indication that okay, USD pairs, it's time to retrace, and we're probably going to see a lot more upside now. But yeah, not quite seeing that. But yeah, I'm a little bit upset that I missed on the New Zealand CHF trade, to be honest, because I really like that opportunity. but I decided not to take it because of the interest rate for New Zealand. I'm kind of hoping we have one more sell back down again so I can get the trade hopefully later. Well, not later this week, probably next week at this point. But the risk reward looks really good. The opportunity, the upside is back to these highs here, because if you are going to swing off that low on the weekly chart, there's a very high chance we're going to see another big push up as well, and that's the resistance I expect us to get to, probably even further. So if we can see the pullbacks there, I think the buys will look really, really good. But yeah, it just depends if we get there or not. I was expecting New Zealand to be pretty weak, but we didn't have that reaction to the news at all. So we'll have to wait and see. Which market you talking about, Barry? I mean, you're going to see that happen a lot more on exotics, a lot more on the miners as well. Majors is where you got the most volume, most people trading, buying, selling. But if I was to go to like peso, USD peso, you can see there with those massive wicks on the daily chart. This is not like an intraday time frame. This is a daily time frame. You can see how price is moving. Very very erratic. Does provide some nice opportunities, really nice swings, as you can see. But yeah, if you're going to look to trade the exotic currencies, I would only suggest swing trading and definitely not day trading. Not the best way to go about it. But hopefully you can find some pullbacks and some more of the yen pairs, because I think those can be really nice opportunities till the end of the year and probably the start of next year as well. So keep an eye on that. But as always, guys, I will be live again later, live again tomorrow, same time as always, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So if you guys are free, make sure you pop in, say hi. If you haven't done so, make sure you do like the stream. Do appreciate everyone who has done so, and make sure you do subscribe and hit the bell whilst you're at it. Check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel. Link to that in the description and at the top of the chat. So you definitely can't miss it. Join discussions, chat with myself, other traders, look at different opportunities. And of course, you can find your discount codes there for your next purchase of an Elevating Traders trading challenge. So check it out if you haven't done so already, guys. But as I said, I will be live again tomorrow. So I hope to see you guys there. Analysis will come as always on the weekend. So make sure you check it out. I'll wrap up the week and then forecast the next as well. So if you're looking for some guidance for next week, check out that video. But guys, really appreciate you tuning in. Have a great Thursday, and I'll see you all tomorrow.